Taylor Scott, throughout Taylor's life, she has had a passion for helping people strive to be their best self. Taylor works hard to provide support in many aspects of life. Taylor had noticed people struggle with their finances.
Oh.
Yep, that's you.
Whether that be people her age or people older than her, everyone struggles with money, which is the main reason why Taylor got into financial planning. With the passion of helping others, Taylor aims to be better than every individual life that her path crosses. Welcome, Taylor.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So the question of the day is where energy flows. Let's put that back up here. Did we put that up? Wealth flows where energy goes.
Right.
Yep. So there's a lot of professionals who call themselves financial advisors, and I know you have that title as well. What do you specifically do, and how does that make you different from what others do?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think I do a lot of things of what other financial professionals do. And there's a lot of commonalities between us. But I think the first question I always ask someone when they're talking to me is, do you work for someone or do you work for yourself? And that determines if they're a business owner or they work for someone else. And the planning is similar, but different in some ways, right? So if you're an individual, you have certain needs that you provide for your family, you provide for the boss that you work for. But if you work for yourself, you have to control a lot of your finances on your own and things like that. So there's different ways that we help people, business owners individually, but really through planning, through different processes, looking at different insurances, looking at investments, looking at cash flow, debt management. There's a lot of things that we do, but encompassing everything. There's a lot of different professionals that we bring in the picture and kind of help the professional that's asking for help.
Nice. So I'm assuming you work with many different professions and roles within that. Do you see any commonalities with everyone that you work with?
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of different professionals that we work with, different types of businesses, different types of individuals, families, but the main causes that I see in working with clients is there's just a lack of education. The knowledge isn't really there. So a lot of people, when they come to me, they have different insurances in place or they have different investments. And I'll ask them, why do you have this in place? And most of the time they don't know why. So it's really educating them on why you have this, why you shouldn't have this. Maybe you should consider this. Talk to a CPA, talk to a PNC agent or anyone in their professional realm where we can help make their situation better, and just refer out and educate them on what's out there. And there's so much noise in the financial world, just calming the noise and bringing everything back on why you need this, why you should have that, and why you shouldn't. So.
That's good stuff. So you mentioned the loss of income as being the biggest threat someone could ever face financially.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge. So are you talking about cash flow or just income, or elaborate a little bit more on that so we can understand that?
Yeah. So a lot of people, when they come to me, they're like, building wealth, I don't know how that is. And like we've witnessed before, building wealth is different to everyone and wealth means something different to everyone. So when they come to me, they're like, what can you get me on your rate of return? Or what can I get from you? And it's just, I can get you some rate of return, but I don't think that's important. The biggest thing is that if you run your own business and you can't come to work tomorrow, for someone who's very independent on their income, what happens? Or if you become disabled or injured or someone sues you in our sue happy society that we are in today, what happens if something, a big threat of yours happens to your financial picture, and how do we plan for that? So a lot of the times we work on making sure that threats don't happen. And if failure is here, we want you way over here. So building a financial picture around failures and how to avoid financial failure and all that takes a big account into how we plan.
It sounds like you're doing a lot of education, not just you're teaching people a little bit more than you are doing anything else.
Yes, that's the biggest thing. I think we have many meetings from start to end, and they're all built on education. And like I said, there's so much noise. So how do we plan for the worst threats? What happens if this happens to your business? If like I said, if you pass away tomorrow, like what happens with your business, what happens with your family, what happens to your employees, like a lot of things people don't really think about when they're thinking about wealth, but it happens and it's something that we need to think about. So
Yeah. So then are you also providing different resources and places that they can go to get this information?
Yep. So the different, I would say, products that we can do are insurance and investments, and that's very wide open. There's tons of different products that are within those, but we also refer out to different professionals. So if they need help with their accounting, we'll do CPAs. If they need second opinion on their home and auto insurance or umbrella insurance, or really just cash flow budgeting, we can do that. Referring them to like CPAs, like I said, or just anyone who can help their financial picture or business in general, we can help refer that out to.
It's awesome. That's sounds like you have a pretty good business going on there.
Yeah.
I like the
it's fun.
educational part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think education is such an important part because I think people who don't have money or have made mistakes with money feel embarrassed or just they just have like a block there. And so by providing that education, it's a nice way of reducing that block and letting people understand that you can be wealthy, and even if you made mistakes, hey, everybody makes mistakes.
Yes.
And
So
it sounds from what she's saying though that they're actually learning from their previous mistakes and then they're doing things to prevent them from happening in the future. So those mistakes are actually valuable for her to know about.
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm out networking a lot, and so I come across a lot of people. But just even when talking with other professionals, the biggest thing that they say is, I wish I started earlier. So my focus is working with the younger professionals, helping them just start, even if it's something simple as putting $50 away to something, or thinking about this type of coverage or something like that. Just starting early and getting on track so that when you get to a certain age that you'll be fine no matter what.
Yeah, because I don't think they're still teaching this stuff in schools very much.
No,
School.
and I always tell people I graduated with a finance degree and I didn't learn any personal finance. It was all the basics. So it's just getting out there and learning about it and like telling people, hey, this is something to think about. Have you thought about it? So
Yeah. I think that there's an entrepreneur grade in high school in Austin, of course, hippies. But they have this great entrepreneur school, and they teach you how to be rich. They teach you about personal finances. They teach you how to manage your business, manage your money, and I think all schools should do that.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was so great to have you on the show today, Taylor.
Thanks for having me.
Did you have anything that you wanted to offer our guests today? Either that's just a way to connect with you or anything else that you have?
Yeah, I would say if you have any questions about financial planning, or you just have like some topic that you want to talk about, I'm open to talking to anyone, and connect with me on LinkedIn and do all that.
It's wonderful. We'll put your information at theconnectshow.com. Taylor Scott.
Thanks for having me.
It's going to be wonderful. There we go.